Hello, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we're having a look at where we're going to place everything, where we're going to wire everything, and I think looking at it, I've tried a few different positions for the fan, and it looks like that is going to be about the most useful. We should have plenty of clearance for body, so should be plenty of airflow when it's that way at wires. So we're going to get the fan mounted there, and I'm going to try with a 15 tooth mod 1 pinion first. So we need the little grub screw out of here. We need a little bit of thread lock on the grub screw. Crazy with that because I don't want it coming loose, but I don't want it stuck on. Then you've got the little slot, so we should be able to line up the pinion. So you've got the flat of the shaft lined up with that slot. You want to get it as far down as you can and then tighten it up. And then because we're happy with where the motor mount is, I'm going to drop a little bit of thread lock onto the motor screws. And you want to be careful on this, you don't get too much thread lock because you don't want it running down into the motor. Some of the motors are captivated screws and some of them are open into the motor housing itself. And I've not had a look on this one, so I don't know which one this is, but I'd rather not take any chances and throw a load of thread lock down into my motor. So get them nice and tight. Looks like there's plenty of meat on that. So we're now going to get a little bit of thread lock on these screws. And I hate it when thread lock starts getting in this position because you think there's nothing coming out and then it chucks a load out. So I'll split that between both of them. We can see if we can set the mesh on this motor. So you can do it by chucking paper in it. I tend to just get it set up by eye and then nip it up. Check it all the way around, make sure you've got no runoff on anything, no tight spots or loose spots, and you want just enough of play to just let it slide about a little tiny bit. Right, next thing, we're going to need to solder some wires on. I think this original wire's been tinned all the way through. That might work a bit better. Let's try getting it from this side. Nope, this one's not going to be really nice to do. Right, that's one on solid. It's going to be an interesting job, this. So, I'm going to bring that across. But they do. So we're going for point C. And with this solder, there's no need for flux because it's got a resin core. That little bit up on the end of it. That's got it solid. Right. Let's get another one. So that's C to C. Now we need B. That's got that one nice and solid. See if we can run this the same. your tongue there, that if you're sticking the solder in your mouth. We don't want any sharp solder burrs or anything, wires sticking out. So, on with the next. Let's get this one tinned. Try and get it somewhat similar. See if we can get some solder on top of that now, make it nice and neat. So that should keep them out of the way of the servo for steering, and we've got enough clearance for that. Just clears them caps, just clears top at receiver. These wires coming up from it that way should stop them dropping down into there or getting it fan or getting it servo. So next we're going to need as negative and positive for the battery terminals. So that'll be as negative, probably running down to that side. I'm positive I'm going to leave full length anyway, because it's got to go all the way over to the other side of the RC. And these are bloody close to them caps. So, all wires are on nice. We're going to have that running over to that side. This is at longest. So at longest it's going to need to be like that, and then folded back for that one. So I can get the negative one cut to length. Might as well put a bit of extra solder on that while I've got the soldering iron here. Right, let's go and see if we've got any battery terminals. In fact, let's clear all these wires up. We don't need all these everywhere. Keep all them off cuts together. And we can get the fan put back on now, which hopefully should clear all wiring. Should be able to bring that wire down and then into the ESC. So we can find somewhere tidy for that to go when we eventually get some tie wraps on here. And then we're going to want the sensor wire back on. Should be able to follow them wires back over. It's just going to be very close to steering. I'm not exactly sure what that's getting stuck on. Not getting stuck on anything, just didn't want to go in. So that should then run straight over the top with the motor wires. And should all plug into the ESC. Let's have a look what we've got with them. I think that fan's going to be better off turned slightly. Keep all those wires tidy in one place. So we can bring them all over, straight over the top. And then I think just 1 or 2 tie wraps on them should keep them tidy. So, next thing, we need some power pins. So, let's go and get some of them. Right, so we now have the pins that we're going to use for battery. So let's get some power back on the soldering iron. Get that back warmed up and get these horrible things soldered on. And to be fair to them, they're not always bad these to put on. While that soldering iron's warming up, let's see if we can tidy these cables. Let's see if I can hide the red and black fan one down the back. Yeah, they don't look too bad. Looks fairly reasonable. We're not having any wires going into the steering or anything. Right, let's see how we're going with this. Got that on pretty quick. Usually a bit more of a pain than that. Must be getting better at this soldering malarkey in my old age. Yep, they're both in completely solid. And you ain't got to worry about them shorting out, because the not live, they're just on the ESC. So I'm going to need another couple of these, but I'm going to have to wait for them to arrive. Because we need to make a link wire between the two batteries. So let's see what we got. That's not going to be long enough. And I think, just for safety's sake, so if that's going to be as negative, I've got a battery kicking around somewhere around here, but anyway, if that's going to be as negative and then as positive's going to run there, I might leave this long enough just to, because that's going to be a positive terminal. So I might end up leaving this a bit longer, just so we can bring it up at top and maybe tie wrap it onto that one. So let's see what else we can do. Probably get a tie wrap around this lot and tidy all these up, because I'm not going to shorten any of these down until I work out exactly what I'm doing with this RC. So we'll just put them all together, keep them tidy. And that's the solder station off, so that's nice and safe. Right, so that's the electrics pretty much wired, all apart from the little link cable. Just got to wait for 2 more of them terminals to turn up. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you guys again next time.